Back YouTube, we are unfortunately dealing with some windy slash rainy weather today, but on a windy rainy day such as this is a perfect time to go visit a museum. And this is the Gyeongju National Museum. You guys can see behind me. This is quite possibly the most beautiful museum that I've ever actually been to. I haven't been inside. I don't know what's inside, but the buildings themselves are absolutely incredible. There's even a gong outside over here that we can go check out. And this museum is like, the land itself for it, the museum is massive. Like, from an aerial view, I wish I could show you guys an aerial view, but the aerial view of this place is huge. So there's potentially a lot to see here. I don't know how many of the buildings we can actually go into, but the museum itself is actually free. I don't know if we can actually hit this gong here, but I'll show it to you guys. So this bell is supposed to be one of the oldest Buddhist bells that was ever built for King Songdok. So this is actually the original bell, which is kind of nice. And wow. The fact that they actually still have like an original bell is pretty cool, but yeah, I'm guessing we still can't gong it. There are some bells you can gong, and there are other bells you cannot gong. I assume this is the main building, but I do want to kind of take a little walking tour outside just to kind of show off the museum area itself and the and the various buildings that are around. But I guess it's the same kind of principle with when we were in Kyoto. The rain was kind of bothersome, but it does give a nice atmosphere for the day, I guess, which is also very nice. I can see in the corner, you guys can't quite see it, but the traditional building in the back right there is actually an Edia coffee, which is also kind of interesting. Can't have any kind of cultural place without some kind of cafe being there. Oh, this building, especially like over here, is super cool looking. Just like the stonework. I'm excited to see everything. Again, I can't get over the fact that this place is free. Oh, this is the Warji exhibition hall. Okay. Yeah, I just like the fact that this whole place is free is so nice. And again, this is the National Museum of Gyeongju. So you can learn a lot of the history of Gyeongju. And this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is super cool. I think we're going to go ahead and actually maybe go into this building, and this building. And I think there's other buildings over there maybe, but before I walk over there, I want to check out these buildings first. So let's go ahead inside and see what we can see. We find ourselves in the Sheila Art Exhibition Hall, which again, even from the interior, is super cool. I don't know if they'll let us record, so I'll check out first before we can go inside. All right, we got the A-OK to record inside. Wow. These statues are super cool. All right. While I go around and read what each statue is, you guys can soak up the views that are these historical monuments. So all of these sculptures depict the Buddhism culture that was introduced to Korea in the 4th century during the Three Kingdoms period. And Shilla, which was one of the kingdoms at the time, especially took to Buddhism after a monk was martyred for opposing the aristocratic norm. And they built these statues as kind of guardian deities or to represent different aspects of the Shilla life or land itself, which is actually super cool. So a lot of these statues have different meaning. There's one statue in particular that I could not read the name of, and I don't really feel like reading the name of for you guys because it was very hard to read, but there's one statue that depicts the land of Shilla itself, which is really cool. I didn't know that Buddhism took such a huge grip in Shilla particularly, or in this area. Oh. So this Buddha is one of the Buddhas I can't really pronounce the name for. You guys can see it there. But this is known as the medicine Buddha, which is supposed to be able to cure all disease, where you can see the medicine pot in the left hand. Even the disease of ignorance, which I find very entertaining. I'm gonna need a lot more of those all around the world. And then we got this striking view on the second floor as well. And then we have the pensive Buddha over here, which both of these, I believe, were actually found in pieces and then later restored to the current state they're in now, which is pretty cool. Although this one is a little more destroyed than the other one is. But the fact that these are still the original stoneworks are also really, really cool. This is the second floor, where we can see more of the Buddha art / architecture, which I do like this room style a lot. But yeah, we can see all of the Buddhist temples that were set up / pagodas. That's actually really cool. A nice map of the area. Now I believe most of these are not here anymore. I think they still have some, but I don't think all of them are still fully erect or built. So all of these temples were built during the late King Bopong, I don't know if I said that right, reign. And even within just various court officials, they all decided to start building temples in the hope for prayer for peace for the kingdom. But as I said, most of these temples are actually just completely gone. So we don't actually know what they fully would have looked like. But thanks to modern technology and some findings, we can get an idea of what they might have looked like, but we won't actually know because most of them are completely gone. All right, we find ourselves in the special exhibition with the return of Chonma. Chonma dashi 만나다. Chonma is the heavenly horse, as you can see here, which was just discovered, couldn't say that word for some reason, in 1973. It is the representative image of Shilla Kingdom and the capital, Gyeongju. This picture actually spent a lot of time just kind of in its conservation for obvious reasons. And the last time it was shown was in 2014, not at this museum, but at a separate museum. And so now it's once again on display, which I'm excited for. And these all gold ornaments were found in the same tomb, including the iconic Shilla crown that you guys can see pretty much everywhere in Gyeongju. Okay, so we can't take any pictures, no recording, so unfortunately I will not be able to officially show you guys. It feels like going to see the Mona Lisa, actually. All right, unfortunately, as I said, I couldn't take any pictures of the actual, it looked like I don't know if it was a mud flap or like a small tapestry cloth, but the actual tarp itself showed the Chonma, which was the white horse. The Chonma itself is supposed to have depicted the birth of the progenitor of Shilla, and it was supposed to connect heaven and earth. They found two Chonma. One was on a bronze saddle, so for the people of Korea who discovered it, meant that the Chonma was a widely recognized symbol for the people of Shilla. So that's pretty cool. I'm sorry I couldn't really take pictures of it, but I have to understand that it is a very, very, very old piece of history, and it is already kind of in pieces, so can't take what you get, but you can show off the rest of the museum at least. And now we're going to head into what I only assume is the main museum. This is the Shilla History Exhibition Hall. So let's take a look at the history of Shilla. So we are allowed to record. It is a bit loud, so hopefully you guys can hear me, but I did learn the name of Shilla. Shilla was officially called Shilla thanks to the king Chijun, and the name itself represents reform and renovation as well as globalization. So the kingdom of Shilla is like, even if it's an old historical kingdom, it remains like something that people should continuously think about and strive to remember and move on with the history, kind of guiding forward. So I don't know, it's really cool. I'm gonna take a look at all this stuff, but just kind of give you guys a quick recording and view of all the historical artifacts of the Shilla kingdom. All right, things to note so far about the history of the Shilla kingdom. This is where they found the oldest boat and oar in Korea, so nice. And then in 1921, that's when they discovered the first gold crown, which is now known as the Kumhwa-cheong, or the Golden Crown Tomb. Just by happenstance, actually. Some guy was building a new house, and when he leveled out the ground, some kids found some beads and they were playing with them. And then a Japanese officer noticed this and was then taken to the spot where they then found the tomb which had the golden crown. And then they found a body with the markings King Isaje, but there's no record of King Isaje, so he was maybe a ruler around the time of 500, or a very, very long time ago. But even then they had gold ornaments, which is very cool. Oh, I don't know what this is. If there's like, oh, this is super cool. Wow, they have like you can see all the projectors, but like they have like this basic, wow, that is so cool. And I know that this is supposed to be like a representation of the museum of the past, but dude, technology is super cool. Like this is what it looks like normally. There's just white blocks in a white room, but thanks to the projectors, we can see some cool images being projected onto this. Like that. Awesome. All right, our next tidbit of history. So Shilla was one amongst the first kingdom to kind of unify the peninsula. They allied themselves with Tang, or China, and took over Baekje and Goguryeo, and then repelled Tang in 676, and then enjoyed prosperity till the mid-8th century, where they basically destroyed themselves in political upheaval, as most countries, I feel like, or most kingdoms do. Alrighty, that was a pretty cool museum to kind of check out some of the history, check out some historical artifacts. I do wish I kind of went to that museum first, because it kind of naturally leads to the special exhibition museum, but you know, we make our own script, we kind of make our own path. But so far everything's really cool. Obviously I'm not really showing everything because I think it's more meant for you guys to come and check it out. And so far this museum has been really, really cool. Not just in learning about the history and all of that, but just the, like I said, the architecture of the buildings, the way that everything's designed, that cool light show, projection show. Everything's been super cool. So now we're gonna go check out the Gyeongju exhibition hall and see what we find in there. All right, here we are in the Gyeongju exhibition hall with Gyeongju over there. This, maybe I presume, is the oldest boat with the oldest oar in Korea. I like the color aesthetic of this museum so far. I like the blue background. Let's see what we can learn here. So something I really appreciate and really like is all these roof tiles. These are the end pieces, as well as the I think it's concave, right? No, concave roof tiles, as you can see here. You just don't see this anymore in buildings. I mean, you can in Gyeongju, but like on modern buildings, you just don't see this kind of like architecture anymore. And I think this is just super cool. I wish more buildings kind of had this design. Not necessarily like concave like this, just like the lotus flower design pattern or things like that, just on the roofs. Like, look at this. It's super cool. We can see the changes of the roof tiles throughout the history through the different kingdoms. Nice. All right, some cool tidbits about Orgy Pond, which I didn't know about. Super cool. So Orgy Pond, apparently, like, you cannot see it, like, the whole thing from any direction. And that's because on one side it's more flat, and then on the other side has a meandering curve. And this was thought to represent the sea, as depicted, like, let me get an aerial view. There are 3 islands over there, a small one, and then this last one over here. But then one guy theorized that this is like a multi-dimensional map of Northeast Asia, which I really like. So the biggest one over there is Japan. That small one is Jeju-do. And then this last one over here, China, which I don't know, it's kind of really interesting to think about, that this pond has so much meaning to it, which may or may not be true. Someone could have just built the pond and be like, hey, I want 3 islands in there, and this is what it looks like. But I like the imagination and the theory more. Yo, even in the past, they knew how to party. This 14-sided die, of which consists 8 hexagonal sides and 4 or 6 square ones. You can see it here. This die was used for drinking games at parties and events. So even back then, they knew how to party. Wow, that's actually kind of cool. The fact that we have like drinking games now, like, that are actually involved with dice and involved in the past as well. But this is a copy of the original after the original was accidentally burned. Whoops, big mistake. But I found that to tickle my fancy. That was pretty interesting. All right, we're making our way to, I think, the last building for today. But look at this cool bridge. Look at this. This is the view of this area. Not like a insane view or anything, but I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, we're marching on to that building there, which has the storage of Shilla artifacts. Also cool building, by the way. But yeah, it feels like we're really in the countryside with when we're kind of walking across. And they said there's a cafeteria, but I don't know if there's actually a cafeteria. I think it's just Idia that's in there, but we'll check that out just to see if there actually is like a cafeteria or not. But anyways, let's keep going. All right, we are now in Shilla Artifact Museum. No one here, so nice. We can take the whole nice little video of the surrounding area. But yeah, we can take our time to look at all the artifacts and see what they got. God, you can see this crown literally everywhere. But I mean, this was like the style back then. Alright, same as before, I will show off a little bit and kind of read up and see what we can find. This is for YouTube that you guys couldn't see. This is basically what the chonma looked like. Obviously, this is not the real one that was excavated, but this is just kind of a peek, so that way you guys can at least know what it looked like. We have the mother lode of tiles and potteries. Nice. I especially like these. I believe they're supposed to be dragons, because your boy loves dragons. But and then these are the floor tiles as well. Super neat. God, there is a lot. There is a lot. There is so much. All right, we pretty much did all the buildings that we could check out in the museum. So far, you know, this is a really cool museum. I can understand why it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Maybe recommend not coming when it's rainy, but or maybe you do. I don't know. There wasn't too many people today, so it was kind of nice to be able to walk around. Nobody at this museum. Yeah, just kind of a brief explanation. There wasn't. I mean, it literally was just a collection of a bunch of old pottery and like the history and explanation of how some pottery is made, which was kind of neat. I guess the most interesting thing was there were these golden earrings that you could like look at under a microscope, which was really neat. I like that, so you can see the detailing of the gold and all that. So we're gonna go check out the Edea, I guess, and see if there's anything special in there. If not, then I guess we're done for the day. Let's go check out Edea and see if there's an actual cafeteria. And if not, I'll see you in a little bit, YouTube. All right, so we did check it out. It was just an Edea, not an actual cafe or anything. But while I was in the Edea, I could see this really cool pond and building that I will flip you guys around. I don't know if there's going to be anything in the building, if we can go in the building, but let me show you. The Edea here, and we slowly go left, right, not left, and there we go. Super cool. Like, I don't know if this pond is supposed to represent the Warji pond or not, but this is really cool. It's just I am curious about the building. I don't know if this actually is a building we can go inside. If not, then this is just a really cool decorative part of the museum. I really like this. It's really neat. All right, as I said before, yeah, we couldn't go in that building. It did lead me to another building, which was the library museum, Shilla Library Museum, but it was not open today, so maybe another day it'll be open, or maybe we can check it out later. But yeah, that was the Gyeongju National Museum. Now I see there's actually a 7-Eleven on here too. Okay. Anyways, that was a really cool museum. I learned a lot actually about the Shilla Kingdom, which was really nice for me because I was interested in learning about that today. And dude, I recommend coming to this place. It's really cool. A lot to see, a lot to learn, and overall the environment is super peaceful and super eye-pleasing. Architecture-wise, I think is super neat. But that's it for today. I'm getting a little hungry. I'm gonna head off to Gyeongju to grab some lunch. But that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching. As always, like and subscribe if you like the videos. Always lets me know and makes me pretty happy. But I hope you guys enjoyed the Gyeongju National Museum. Be sure to make this a stop by when you guys come to Gyeongju. All right, peace out for now, YouTube. See you next week.